realb.com here at Brett Magazine. Be real every day and deliver. Today I have Tyrone Darden, District 2 Running Council. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fine, ma'am.
Well, I wanted to talk to you today about a few things, mainly your campaign and what's been going on with you with that, and also so you can educate our readers on how to properly get out there and vote and how to figure out what district they're in and so forth and so on. What makes you the best candidate for the current position running District 2 City Council?
I believe, and as well as my support base believes, that I'm the best candidate. First and foremost, is because I have a plan. I have an agenda that can be easily followed and that can examine and kind of follow the progress over the 2-year term, 4 years, 8 years, however long I want to be in office. You'll be able to see what the plan is, how the plan works, and see the plan in motion. No other candidate, including the incumbent, actually has a plan. On top of that, just my experience and knowledge of the community, being here, understanding the needs of the community, and being connected to the community, and just having a love to reconnect those who aren't connected right now to the community, I think it makes me the best candidate, and it makes me the most qualified candidate just in terms of getting things done now.
And I'm sorry, for those who are unaware for this clerical purpose, what is your direct plan of purpose?
My plan is... Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just asking if you mind outlining that for us.
And of course, you know, we don't have all the hours in the world, but I'll do my best to kind of frame it for you. My background, obviously I've been an educator for 10 years, and specifically a special educator. And so what I've learned working with special needs, with a special needs population, and I'm not, you know, I wouldn't say my community is talented. My community is blessed. My community has a lot to offer, but I do think that we are very different and diverse as opposed to the rest of the city. So it takes a special plan, a specific plan. And so for me, with my background in special education and how we deal with that special population, I find it very, very effective. And that same thing is what I want to connect. So, for example, having a specific agenda, let's say a youth agenda. For me, anything I do, anything that I bring forth in front of the community for them to examine is going to have a goal. So for the youth, if the goal is to lower the dropout rate, if the goal is to get more kids into college, if the goal is to lower teen pregnancy, there's going to be objectives related to that goal. So if we want to lower the teen pregnancy rate, lower the dropout rate, if we want to raise the community service rate or the participation of youth in the community, then those objectives have to speak directly to that. So that would be, hey, I want in year one, we want to develop a program that either is an apprenticeship or summer jobs or some type of workforce development, some type of workforce training that 300 students are involved in, second year, 600 students, and we can see that and then attach to that. How are we going to fund that? Is that going to be a private-public relationship? Is all the money coming from the city funds? Is it all, you know, being raised through fundraisers? So the funding piece. So we have the goal of, you know, decreasing or increasing these things for youth, but then we also have the objectives. How are we going to get to that goal? And then even how are we going to support it financially? Who's going to deliver it? Is the city going to deliver it? Are we going to contract nonprofits or for-profit agencies? All those things outlined so we can see how it's going to be done. We can implement it, and there won't be any issues. We'll know exactly what we're doing for our community for that specific agenda item.
She said that. I also wanted to ask, if I may, particularly for my readers that are in District 2, we'll get to district later or how we'll figure out what district you're in. But the issues that you're looking to tackle specifically, maybe just one or two of those that you find in District 2 that have not been tackled by previous candidates, previous previous holders and also the current incumbent, like you stated. But there's so many things that people complain about, or there may have been conversations about, that in your particular opinion with your campaign, what are specific issues that you see that we're lacking in District 2 that you're looking to better?
Okay, well, number one, first and foremost, the politically correct response would be, economic development, workforce development, crime reduction, things like that. And all those things are fine, and there's a need in District 2 for pretty much any political term you can throw out there. But what's the disconnect that has been going on, at least in the past 4 years that I've been paying attention to, there's no connection with the constituents. And by that I mean this. So we can talk about, we're going to lower the crime, but if we're just doing things just to do them and not actually going into those neighborhoods and saying, what is your crime issue? Is it, poor lighting? Is it drug activity? Is it you don't have enough patrolmen in the area? What is your crime issue? Going to the people and listening to the people and saying, okay, I understand your concern. Now let me go see what our options are for remedying your concerns. The number one thing that I think that hasn't been getting done is connecting how you're going to solve the issue with the issue. We've done a blanketed approach. For example, crime. For crime, the response is always, we're going to put more police on the street, we're going to lock more people up, we're going to do the gang injunction. That hasn't worked. And even if it did work in one portion of the district is so vast that isn't something to fight crime for District 2 as a whole. You have to go to the people and say, what are your needs, what are your issues, what are your concerns, so you can tailor it to them. And we will see not only progress, but sustainable progress, because the people are who are driving that train. They're the engine to it. They're driving that vehicle.
Definitely something. A lot of people, and I've been watching your campaign, online social networking, people said that you're inexperienced and unqualified. How do you respond to their accusations of those? It's pretty harsh. What do you have to say, or how do you feel in reference to that?
Well, first and foremost, as the old saying goes, everyone has a right to their opinion, but it's just that it's an opinion. If people want to get some facts, I'm a very open person. My Facebook, as we talked about socially, that's open. You can inbox me. You can write on my wall. We can have a conversation. My phone number is over all of my information, my flyers, my mailers. I'm accessible. So instead of people assuming, they can always ask, hey. And then also, with that being said, a lot of those people that are saying these negative things about me haven't attended the forums. They haven't, they haven't stopped by the campaign office. They haven't submitted any questions to the website. They haven't really done anything to get the information. To say I'm unqualified or that I haven't done anything in the community, to assume something like that, it's kind of a poor statement, because I've been in this community as an educator for 10 years by trade, but on the community service level, I've been helping this community in depth for 4 years with adult education, with summer jobs, with workforce development with our youth, with connecting our youth through to college experiences, through our college excursions. And many people know this. So the people who say I haven't been active, they obviously haven't even done just the minimum due diligence doing their research.
And I can agree with that. I feel for you. It's hard being in the limelight and having so much positivity in your spirit and attempting to do essentially what I'll call better work, to better someone else's life and make things better in the overall community. And even with that, now I did see, particularly there were some comments between Mario Salas and some of what could have been considered your supporters, but I can't I can't say for sure one because I don't know who voted for you on those comments, but he made a light to point out what he considered your supporters. I didn't really see much of maybe the responses they were looking for in reference to the things that he was posting, but a lot of supporters expressed outrage in the community and on social networking sites. Some of it was a little, like you said, and it's all opinions, but even criticizing your leadership skills for not vetting the issue. How does that make you feel? How do you feel concerning that?
I think that again, I wouldn't say, Obama, or I wouldn't say anybody is a leader if I haven't at least done my research. And I definitely wouldn't say, let's say someone went and robbed a store, but they were a Muslim. I wouldn't say, well, whoever his elder is over at their place of worship, he's a bad leader because he had two of his brothers out there robbing the store. No, those people are not to be controlled. Mm-hmm. You don't control. People are not animals. People are not property. People do what they want to do. Now, you expect for people to be mature. You expect for people to have a certain standard, and operate above board. But with that being said, and with the analogy, with the Muslims and the Muslim Brotherhood, if one person is messing up, it's not a knock on that elder, on that leader. It's a knock on that person. And you can't say that's a bad leader because he allowed these people or those people out there doing X, Y, and Z, and they're supposed to represent these brothers in a certain kind of way. Anyone who wants to vote for me can. But when they open their mouth and they start speaking, they're speaking based on their passion. They're speaking based on how they feel on issues. That's how they feel. And I'm never going to muzzle anyone or shut anyone up. Now, if it becomes disrespectful, cursing, belittling women or anything like that, of course I'll step in. And I won't step in public. I'll pull them to the side. Hey, man, that's not what I'm about. Please don't do that. But if it's just they've been passionate about their opinion or they were offended and now they're trying to respond to why they were offended, I don't have an issue with that. So to your question, I don't think there's a mark on my leadership based on someone else not agreeing with someone who supports me, what they say. I don't think those things go together. I think people are human beings, and freedom of speech allows them to do and say what they want to do within the confines of the law. And as long as they stay there and they're not disrespectful and they don't violate my code of ethics and the things that I live by, like I said, by rating people or using profanity or putting down people, I'm fine. Go out there and fight your fight. Do what you got to do.
Well, why have you chosen personally not to speak back or, I guess, flash back against opposing statements thus far? Because there's stages. I mean, I went through maybe an hour's worth of just my time, just copiously going through each detail, comment per day. But I can say out of respect, I can see that it's possible that you're not really intertwining in that particular moment of whatever is going on with other people or opposing people's statements. But I guess tell us why you decided not to indulge thus far with that.
For me, and I was warned, I ain't going to say I was told, I was warned, and I started campaigning at the grassroots level almost a year and a half ago. And so I was warned, hey, Darden, they're going to come after you. What do you mean? Well, come after me for what? Darden, they're going to bring up your past. Well, my past ain't bad. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a rapist. Darden, that don't matter. They're going to make stuff up. They're going to, the stuff you have done, the mistakes you have made, they're going to blow that up. They're going to talk about your mama, your sister, your daddy, whoever they can, and they're going to do it for one reason. I said, well, why are they going to be doing all that? As a distraction. You're running for city council. You're running for political office. You're not on the court, in the courtroom trying to defend yourself or defend your life or to save your life. You're running based on the issues, and you need to always focus on the issues. And so at first, like I said, it was a year and a half ago, so there wasn't any debates. There wasn't any forums. There wasn't all these different things going on. But as we got closer, and now that we're here, I see it. When we started having, forums and debates and different things of that nature, and I was able in a public place to respond to critical questions that are concerning the community, things that affect policy and affect people. And I responded intellectually and intelligently. I don't think people that maybe didn't support me, I don't think they were ready for that. So instead of saying, hey, we're going to let the incumbent be smarter than him and be more in-depth than him and be more precise and concise on what goes on in City Hall than him, I think a decision was made that we're going to treat this in a political way, and we're going to knock Darden off his path. And instead of him studying and doing research and getting to know the issues and having an agenda and having a plan, we're going to get him to focus on the DWI he got. And we're going to get him to focus on this issue or that issue. And we're going to get him to focus on all these other things so people will say, see, he's not ready because he's not even responding to the things that matter. He's worried about all this other mess. But see, I got him because I'm a quick study, and I understood what the person was telling me or what the people were telling me months before. Tyrone, stay focused. Stay focused. This is a marathon. This is not a race. And people will say things and do things to make you forget that you're running for a political office. And I'm going to make you think that you have to defend your character, that you have to defend your manhood, that you have to explain this, explain that, and you don't. Because if you were not qualified, if you were not a qualified candidate, you wouldn't be able to run in the first place. So don't worry about that stuff. Stay focused. So the short version is this: staying focused on the issues, staying focused on what's at hand, and that's gaining votes. The only way I can gain votes outside of the loyalty vote, people who just love me and like me, that can vote, outside of that is showing people that I can do the job, showing the people that I'm intelligent enough to make things happen once elected, showing people that I'm a viable candidate. And so that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm focused. That's why I don't get caught up in the name calling and the belittling and all the negative stuff. I just stay focused. And that's why I don't respond to all that stuff. You haven't seen not one thing on there that where I'm, going back and forth with any of those people or even with my people. I just let that stuff play out. That's something totally different outside of me.
And I definitely can attest to that. I did not see not one comment. And for some people, that's hard to not defend yourself in the sense of, I guess, what you call a distraction. So it takes a strong mind to look past all of that. I do have a question, particularly in reference to Ivy Taylor, and I want to know what you can bring to District 2 that she is not already doing.
A lot. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the district or if you're from the district, but if you drive, I wouldn't say walk because it'll take you forever, but if you drive, just drive W.W. White. And if you exit W.W. White at 410, coming from the northeast side, and just ride W.W. White and ride W.W. White south, you're going to see some things. You're going to see regular things, stores and gas stations and strip, older model strip malls and things like that. You might end up seeing, they build a CVS. We have an H-E-B. We have a Walgreens. We have a Burger King. You're going to see some things, but you're not going to see a lot of development. You're going to see a lot of vacant lots. You're going to see a lot of abandoned buildings. You're going to see a lot of ran down businesses. You're not going to see a lot of positive things. But if you continue going, where it changes and transitions into District 3, and then kind of it goes from W.W. White, and now it's Southeast Military, you're going to see a lot of development. You're going to see a brand new hospital. You're going to see a brand new movie theater. You're going to see probably 100 brand new businesses, both local, national, franchise, mom and pop, all in that area. You're going to see a brand new university. You're going to see so many brand new things that has come in the last 4 or 5 years. So what am I going to bring? I'm going to bring opportunity. I'm going to bring those things that people say can't happen in District 2 to District 2. They say we can't have nice restaurants. Why not? They say we can't have the nice entertainment like the movie theaters and the bowling alleys and things like that. Why not? They said we can't. There's a need for a hospital, but we can't have one there. If we could have, Southeast Baptist would have stayed. Why not? For me, the difference that I'm going to bring in my leadership, it's never going to be a no. We can't do that. If it benefits the community, if it's good for the community, it's not going to be a no. It's going to be how. It's going to be a how. How can we get it done? So for me, how can I get W.W. White or Houston Street or New Braunfels or whatever our main thoroughways, how can I get those places to look like Southeast Military? How can I get them to look like they have life, like they're thriving, like the people there are actually happy to be there? That's what's going to be different for me.
And I'm intrigued because you mentioned I'm actually not. I'm not a resident of District 2, but how can we find out what district we're in if we are unaware?
There's a number of ways. The best way is to call Tyrone, and that's the best way. I can tell you, I know the district back to back of my head for the most part. There has been some additions and some deletions through the redistricting. But if I believe there is a system at the county level, if you go to bear.org, and maybe on there you go to the voting area where you get the voting information. I believe you can type in your name maybe and the first 4 numbers or the numbers on your house. So if you live at 3278 Martin Luther King, you would type your name and then 3278, and somehow, some way, they figure out, what your precinct number is and all these different things. There's so many ways. There's another way. If you go to the state website, if you just Google, am I registered to vote in Texas? And you click on that link once it pops up on Google, you can go there, and it's like 3 different ways. You can use your voter ID number. You can use your driver's license number and your birthday, or you can use, your first and last name, county is there, and a couple other things you put in there. I think maybe your address or your zip code, and you can find out that way. And what it does is it lets you know your precinct. Once you know your precinct, then you can know what district you're in. But the easiest way is just to call Tyrone, and I'll figure it out for you.
Well, I think I like that option. I'm not really proficient, but I will. I'm going to do a also my blog because of the fact we're going to get into voting. Are we able to vote for you if we don't live in District 2?
If you do not, and voting isn't about where you live, it's about where you reside. Because we have people who live in Iraq. We have people who live, people who are not here. So it's not about where you live, it's where you reside. So your residence has to be declared in District 2. So, you can be a college student. I lived in San Marcos for 5 years, but if my residence was in San Antonio in District 2, so I was able, if I wanted to, if I chose to still participate in the city elections, in the county elections. But it's your residence. So if you are a resident of the District 2 and if you are registered to vote at that address, it has to be a residential address. It can't be a P.O. box. It can't be a business that's that is owned specifically for a barber shop or whatever. It has to be a residence. But as long as you're a resident registered to vote at that residence, you can vote in District 2 and hopefully for Tyrone Darden.
And for those who are not residents in District 2, what can we do instead?
What you can do instead is if you know anyone that is registered to vote in District 2, encourage them not to vote for Tyrone, but encourage them to get information on the candidates. Encourage them to make an informed decision before they cast their ballot. But even before that, and this is also what's going to make me different from any any of the former leaders that have been elected, and this is not just District 2, but citywide, I am going to have an intentional get out to vote movement. And by that I mean this. In the last election, there were 55,000 registered voters in District 2. Out of those 55,000 registered voters, only 2,700 actually made it to the polls. That's less than 5%. Now, an even worse, well, it ain't worse, but an even bigger number is there are about 130,000 men, women, and children in District 2. So out of those 130,000 men, women, and children, 55,000 2 years ago were registered to vote in the municipal election for District 2. That was Ivy Taylor, and that was Darrell Boyce. Out of those 55,000 people, only 2,700 actually made it to the polls. That's less than 5%, but what that means is this. 2,700 people decided who was going to be responsible for ensuring that District 2 got its fair share of the the $4.6 billion that was of the city budget over the last 4 years. 2,700 people, less than 5%. And that's 2,700 people. That's less than 1% of the entire population of 130,000 people in District 2. So for me, what's going to make me different is that I don't care who you vote for, as long as it's an informed vote, but we need more people involved. Because if we don't, we're going to continue. Well, number one, we're going to shrink and disappear. But before that happens, we're going to continue to be ignored and neglected. So for me, once I get elected, and they say once I get into office, and they say don't make promises, but my goal is going to be on the next election to have a minimum of a 10% turnout. We can register as many people we want to vote. But if we don't do something to get them to the polls, it's all for nothing. So my goal is 10%. And in the 8 years I can be in office, by the time I get out of office, my goal is for that to be 20%. So right now there's about 68,000 registered voters for this election right now. And it's a very, very low turnout. But by the time we go again in 2 more years, it's probably going to be 70,000. And my goal is going to have at least 7,000 make it to the polls in the next election. Any politician, especially a politician that cares about the community, that cares about keeping the seat, that cares about representation, that cares about the democratic, just being able to have a choice, they should be working for this and working toward that, and that's what I'm going to be working toward. Because if we can't get that happening, we can't guarantee that we're going to have a seat at the table.
Point taken and noted. For those who are interested, when is voting, or when are we able to vote?
Okay, so the May 11th is the general election. That's going to be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's going to be citywide. But on the general election, you have to vote. You have to vote in your precinct for your precinct polling site. And I'm going to be I'm going to get a list together for some people, so they can be able to look and see. Okay, I live at such and such precinct, so I go to Martin Luther King Academy, or I live at such and such precinct, so I go to Smith Elementary. I'm going to make that available. I'm going to break the list down, and I'm going to make that available for anyone who needs it, regardless of whoever they're voting for. I just want to make it less complicated. So May 11th, but on Monday, May 6th, and Tuesday, May 7th, polls will be open from 8 to 8, and you can vote anywhere citywide. You can vote anywhere citywide. And so the goal has been to push people to early voting. So that started on last Monday, and it's going to, which was the 29th, and it's going to end on the 7th of May, which is this coming Tuesday. But you can vote anywhere during early voting, and then after that, May 11th, you got to go to a specific place based on your voting precinct. And again, I'll have that available. I'll have that available through social media. I'll give them my website people, try to put it on my website. If anybody needs me to email it to them, I'll do that. But we want to make it as seamless as possible for people to get out the vote. Because it seems like a lot of times we have excuses. Well, I couldn't find it. They said I was at the wrong one. I overslept. It was too far. It was raining. It was too hot. Whatever we can do. I mean, we're going to have transportation. We're going to have the maps. We're going to have the information to look up to make sure you're registered and you're registered in the right. We're going to have all of that. We don't want no excuse. And it's not about voting for Tyrone. It's about participating in the process. Because if you don't participate, you can't possibly be complaining. Can't do it.
And I want to get this clarified. You said Monday, May 6th and 7th are the last days for early voting citywide?
Yeah, the last 2 days of early voting. And early voting is the only time you can vote anywhere. Okay. On Saturday, May 11th, you have to vote at your polling, the precinct attached to a specific polling site. But again, I'm going to scrub the list and make it, specific to District 2 and put all of the precincts to that polling site on one group so you can see specifically. And I may even, put the homeowner association with those precincts so you can say, okay, 4002 and 4003, those are Denver Heights. So you would know, oh, okay, yeah, I'm in the Denver Heights area, so that's me, and I'm going to go to that one. And, 4003 or 4004 or whatever is Dinwiddie Hills. Okay, I go to this area. We don't need any excuses. We need everybody to get out to vote. This is important, very, very important.
I agree, and I wouldn't mind having that list. I'll send you my email later so I can put that as well to support that. But you're making it very accessible. Even you said transportation as well?
Yes, ma'am. We're renting vans. We helping people call via, if they need any, handicap or wheelchair access, anything like that. Somebody, if they're at work and they want to go on their lunch break, we're scheduling the way we go pick them up on their lunch break. We need people to vote. And, we're not saying we're going to do this for you, so you need to do that for us. No, we want people to get to the polls. I feel like if you're an informed voter and if you truly want change in our community, if you truly feel like we can do better, then, the choice is made on its own. If you want to continue in the same direction that we've been going in the last 4 years, then you've made your choice as well. And so it's really not for me to flip a person or to convince a person or change a person's mind. I just want to present them the information that I have, and it doesn't have to be in a ride to the polls or anything like that, in a forum, in a debate, in a phone call, and then let them make the decision. But as far as helping them get there, streamlining the process and making it as seamless as possible, I just feel like that's what any candidate should do in order just to promote exercising your right to vote.
That's definitely something that's awesome. For those who don't know, I found you online and just happened to Google you. But how are supporters able to reach you or contact you? Do you have a website, or what social network accessibilities are available so we can figure out if we're in your district or we can contact you for support?
Okay, I'm everywhere. So we'll start with the website. The website is www.votetyrone, Tyrone, Darden, DARDEN.com. And there's some information on there. I have Facebook. My Facebook is Tyrone Highly Favored Darden. It's not a political site. It's just my regular Facebook site. It's open to the public. It's a family-oriented site, so you can look at it at work. If they let you look at Facebook, you're not going to find any naked girls or anything like that. You're going to see my kids, and you're going to see my political information, but it's not a political site. That just happens to be what I'm doing right now. Have Twitter that I rarely ever go on, but that's Tyrone Darden. And then we have a Team Darden Twitter as well, which I never go on. And then we have an Instagram, which is Tyrone Darden. So really, if you know Tyrone Darden, you can find me. Don't do any blogs. Don't have anything, exciting like that. Do have an email address, teamdardensa@gmail.com. And I do a good job at responding to my emails because it comes straight to my iPhone. And then we have a campaign hotline, and that is 210-378-3618. And unlike most people running for office or seeking to be a public official, That 378-3618 has been my number since 1999, and it's going to be my number till 2049. Mm-hmm. So you can always know that you'll be able to get in contact with me, whether it's a live person or you can leave a message or text me and I'll text you back. But you'll always be able to get in contact with me, and I'll always be accessible. And that's another thing that I feel like that we're missing. You know, the current leadership keeps saying it's a big district. It's hard to reach everybody. It takes time. I don't believe anything's impossible. I believe that just with effort and being innovative and thinking outside the box, I really truly believe that we can cover a lot more ground and meet a lot more of the needs of the constituents. And so for me, once I get elected, you're not going to have to worry about coming to your city council representative. The city council representative will be coming to you. We will have mobile offices. We will be in all of the communities at least twice a month, every month. So you don't have to wait, till election time and, having a barbecue or a picnic. We will be in the community assessing the needs of the community monthly. We will be mobile, and we will have flexible hours, and we will have weekend hours as well. So we're going to, again, just like the voting, we're going to take all of the roadblocks out of the way. We're going to make sure that this community has a voice. We're going to make sure that this community is in a position to grow, and we're going to make sure that growth can be sustained and that the people here are flourishing and thriving and are happy about their investment in the community, just like everywhere else in the city.
With that also being said, you're young in a sense of age, but you have done a tremendous amount of work.
Can I stop you, though?
Yes.
Because I think that's a common misconception. And when I got my master's degree at 23, I think I was young. I think I was young to do that, and I think that was just a relative thing because a lot of people coming from urban communities like I did, coming from the east side of San Antonio, predominantly at the time African-American, low socioeconomic, to go get your education and come back home I was an anomaly. But that was 10 years ago. I'm 33 years old now. I have 10 years of experience working in the public school system. I've done projects. I've worked with nonprofits. I've worked with for-profits. All that's been done. In our community, I think that, and it's not even my thoughts, it's what it is. For years, the young people have not stepped up. And so I think that at 33, because it's odd to see, or it's odd, the perception is that it's odd that people my age, from my generation, or we just rapping, or we just smoking, or we just dealing drugs, or we just sitting on our butt, or we just making babies. So when you see a young, and that's a misperception, that's not what it is at all. But when you see somebody like me step up, not perfect at all, but doing positive things, educated, and moving towards that next thing of representing people and moving towards leadership, I don't think that it's an issue with my age. I think that they can't find any other issues, and so they say, well, okay, he got an education, we can't use that. Okay, he speaks well, we can't use that. Okay, he don't got tattoos on his face. Okay, we can't use that. Oh, he's too young. But the reality of it is this. In District 5, David Medina was elected as the District 5 city council person at 21. Now, granted, he was the youngest ever elected, but you go back. Let's look at our mayor. Our mayor, Julian Castro. Julian Castro was elected, I believe, when he was 26 or 27. For whatever the age is, in every other part of the city, they're promoting youth. They're promoting the next generation and saying, hey, it's time for you guys to step up. But in our community, this 33-year-old with a master's that's married and take care of all of his kids is too young and not ready. I have a major problem with that. And I think that we need to step up as a community and figure out exactly what do we want the young people to do. Because if you don't want us to leave, if you don't want us to be educated, get educated, come back home and apply that, if you don't want us to be responsible for our families, then I'm confused. I'm confused. So I apologize for cutting you off. But
I think that was a great answer because
I think that does bother me that Darden is too young. Too young for what? Too young for what? That is my question. Too young for change? Too young to give back? too young to make a difference, too young to be a positive role model. Too young for what? Too young to take some of the pressure off those elders that have been doing it for 40 and 50 years, waiting for some young man or woman to step up? Too young for what? Go ahead. I'm getting off my soapbox.
No. And that's good that you finally, because, I was going to ask you, if you had any final regards for those who had anything to say, and that's awesome. I think that's good enough, because I look at you and it's admiresome to see a quote-unquote young black man who's family-oriented, who takes care of all of his children, who's well-educated, that is in the community, well above and beyond just politics. You're also, in the church community. So for those who don't understand, it's a refreshing awe for those youth that I can speak on that complain about the opposite of. So running into people that have absolutely nothing going on, that can't feed the community, that won't do anything but tear down the community, so forth and so on. It's hopeful. And you have every right to feel anything that you do feel, because, like I said, it takes a lot not to say anything at all, especially in the prime position that you're in. And at this point, I really think it's understood that, your focus is to make a better community. So they can't argue or deny that as far as your purpose or your plan or what you stand for. And even to kind of go light into, you being a human being, any references to anything in your lifetime, I believe I told you the quote was something in reference to not being a criminal, but, you may have indulged in human activities or something of that nature.
Well, and this is how I see it, and this is the best way for me to see it. I was asked just last week in an interview with, I believe it was KFED-12. They were doing a story on all the candidates who have criminal records or whatever the situation might have been. And the lady was nice. She wasn't, trying to, throw me under the bus. But the first thing she said out of her mouth was, Mr. Darden, can you give me a response to, you being a city council candidate and having a criminal record? And my response to her was, man, I don't feel like I have a criminal record. I feel like I have a human record. And as a human being, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's not about what you did. It's about what you're doing and what you're working and moving forward to do. And for me, you can find anybody that doesn't have a criminal history. They don't, they didn't get caught. But that's the thing, they didn't get caught because everybody has done something. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's without spot or blemish. And as long as we operate under the notion that, hey, you know what? People make mistakes. Now, the people that keep making mistakes, those are the people we got to look after. But the people who are learning and maturing and growing and using those missteps in a positive way, those are the people that get it. And I believe I can say I'm one of those people that get it. Will I be perfect ever? No. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to make somebody upset. I'm going to get on someone's nerves. I'm going to give somebody back the wrong change. Who knows? But guess what? It's about what I do next. And for me, for those people, those naysayers who focus on things like that, to me, they need to loosen their neck up and get panoramic instead of just looking straight ahead. Because while you're looking at, in my situation, you're looking at a DWI, you should be looking at those kids that I've been educating, those adults that I've been helping get their GEDs, those, whether the older gentleman that I helped clean his house or the older young lady that I took shopping at H-E-B for groceries because her husband was sick. Think about those things. Think about the programs that I've been a part of. Think about the grants that I've helped write that have benefited the community. Think about those things. You can stay focused, but for me, we should always swivel our heads and loosen up our neck and see what else is going on. Because if you spend too much time on one thing, that thing is going to consume you. And I think that's what's going on right now. People are being consumed with what they see as negativity in my character or blemishes in my character, and not giving himself an opportunity to see what is this young man's strengths. What are the positive points of him? Okay, we see. Okay, he made a mistake in 2006, or maybe he dropped the baton at the state meet when he was in 11th grade. But what are the positive things going on with this young man? And I think that right there is something that we got to start with in rebuilding this community. I really do believe that.
I believe so as well. And if you don't have anything else, or if you have anything that you want my readers to know, feel free to go ahead and let them know at this time. I do have one question for you, but I'll wait until you're done, like, plugging your info.
Well, yeah. The info, like I say, the info is the info. I ain't hard to get in contact with. Google me, and you're going to get the information. But in terms of what I want to leave the audience with, I think that for any situation, there has to be a contrast in the choices that you have. For example, if I go to the store and I'm thirsty and if I see Sprite, I see Mellow Yellow, and I see Mountain Dew, those things are, for the most part, the same to me. I'm just going to grab something and walk out. I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. But if I see a lemonade, if I see a Starbucks coffee, and if I see a bottle of water, okay, I got to do my research. What am I doing? Okay, I'm trying to cut down on carbs. Oh, I don't need that caffeine. Oh, okay, but I do want a little flavor. Let me go get this lemonade right here. And I've made my choice. For me, it's all about contrast. And so what is the difference between Darden and the other challenges? I believe for me, number one, first and foremost, I'm from the community. I've been in this community, and not just the east side, but the entire District 2. I've worked here. I've lived here. I've enjoyed the restaurants we do have here. I went to school here. So I have that part of it. That's one difference that I have from all of the other candidates. Number two, and I won't say all the candidates, but I'll say at least the incumbent, I believe in the people in District 2. I believe that if we empower the people, that right there will be a catalytic change. It will empower not only the people, but the places. Because if you have people that are empowered, then they can, they have a little bit more money, they can shop a little bit more. And if they can shop a little bit more, then you can get a little bit more variety of shops. And you get a little bit more variety of shops, and you got more competition. And before you know it, you got, 5 different shoe stores instead of just one rinky-dink shoe store. But all that happened because it empowered the people. So I've been giving up on the people. I still believe in the people because it goes back to that first thing. I am and will always be one of those people. I am District 2. And so for me, the contrast, what makes me different, what makes me just not, a green bottle with clear bubbly liquid in it, what makes me that lemonade or that tea or whatever the situation might be, is that you can see a difference in me. I look different. I sound different. I think different. I was born in this place, not in a different place. I'm connected to the people in this place. I wholeheartedly feel like the people in this place can be great and that they're not lacking and they're not idiots like some people seem to think they are. And so if I can leave the people with anything, I'll leave them with that. Don't vote for Darden because he looks like Martin Luther King or somebody said he was the next Obama. Vote for Darden because you genuinely feel like, you know what, this district does need a different type of leader. And it sounds like this guy deserves a chance. And if you can't vote, spread the word based on that as well. And that's what I want to leave the viewers with.
Thank you. The last question I have for you is, what does it mean to you to be real every day and deliver?
Ooh, that's a good one. Be real every day and deliver. I think the bread in me is not even what I think it is. I think the bread in me is when those constituents, when those men, women, and children in those communities they see me and smile because they know today that's going to be the guy that changes things for us. That's going to be the man that gets stuff done. But then tomorrow, when I'm in the seat, being real every day and delivering, okay, Mr. Darden, we what you need us to do? Because last time you told us to do something, we did it, and now we got jobs, or now we got this, or now we got that. Now the community is thriving. Being real and delivering for me is not nothing to do with me. It's those smiling faces on the people that I'm serving. It's some people that know that something positive is getting done. It's some people that know that their tax dollars are getting invested right back into them, and it's a positive thing because it's real. Because I delivered what I'm supposed to deliver as their leader. So the people going to tell me what that is, and they're going to tell me that by their response to my leadership.
I think that was a very awesome answer. And I found a new coin phrase. So
you think it was a what?
Yeah.
You said it was a what answer?
It was an awesome answer.
Awesome.
You also coined a phrase, it's the bread in me. Thank you for the interview today. And like I said, I am not sure what district I am in, but I have no problem sending the support and love your way to District 2. And
send me the support and love, but also, offline, send me, we'll find out what it is, because you need to vote too, and you need to vote when it's convenient, which is tomorrow, which is the Monday or Tuesday for early voting.
Right.
So you know what? I'll send you a link where you can check yourself. We'll make it that easy.
Thank you. And what I'll do for you in exchange is I'm currently looking for all my District 2 bread readers, and I'll hopefully have a blog up within the next 24 hours, so then we'll be able to keep educating people about early voting in the actual election day. But I support you nonetheless because you're very family-oriented and it's a positive, peaceful change. No matter if you're young or old, it's all about the positivity that you can bring to your community, and the fact that you're trying to, or you're making a better place by making a stand. One, you're already doing a big deal by standing up and making a difference and saying that you want the opportunity to lead. So I give you so much blessings, and I pray that you get exactly what you deserve in this particular election. And for the sake of better words, may the best man win.